Bring that shit.
Think we live. Ooh. All right. Waiting for sound, man. What's the line podcast? Week 8. We return. Best bet hit last week for me. New York Giants, baby. New York motherfucking Giants. I wish I put more money on them. They some scrappers.
That foreshadowed or
Nah. I don't know about. That's the only game of the week with 2 winning teams, though, right? New York Giants and
is it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it?
Yeah, I don't be even knowing records that much these days, or last few years, really. Week 8. What am I doing? All right. We live. What's the line podcast? Week 8. We looking for sound, man. Haven't seen him. Might be the 3-man weave tonight.
He said something about his laptop, didn't
he? Yeah, he been saying a lot of things. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right.
Whew. Right here. Rocking.
I'm just tweeting this out right now. What's the line podcast? We kind of looking for sound, man. See if he pulls up. I got the link.
Hey, Johnny.
Wow. Copy.
She probably ain't into that.
How you feeling? How y'all feeling, Ron? How you doing today, man? Oh, I guess you're not feeling too well, huh? I mean,
Hey, man, it is what it
is. Don't mention that. Yeah, though. They might like give us a little stamp or something on the shit. Go crazy.
Oh no, I won't even mention it. I mean, I'm all right. I'm ready to go. Ready to rock and roll.
All right, it's week 8. What's the line podcast?
Like it's the opportunity to mention. No, I'm just joking.
Oh man, we about to start it up. What's the line podcast? Week 8. I'm just getting ready to tweet. Sending out this link, yes, sir.
What am I doing? Oh, I'm pulling up the yeah.
I just sent that link. Tweet it out or something.
All right, just give it a second.
Anything. Send it to somebody. I don't know.
What am I doing?
I don't know. But this is What's the Line podcast, week 8, baby.
Ready to go.
Week 8.
I gotta do this past weekend.
So what?
I gotta do this past weekend.
I didn't do great. It was my worst weekend. Yeah, I feel like that's why I said it was the dog days, and then the shit that I played didn't do. Yeah, it's a rough day at the office for me last week. First day like that for the year for me.
I was chilling with Deuce going on. I didn't even get to catch many of the games, honestly. Had the lights it.
Yeah, I pulled up on Matt Salman had the phone with the red zone. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I saw the red zone corner in the party. I had too much running around to do to really.
It was somebody party, what y'all said?
The baby.
Goes.
Oh, congratulations, Keith.
Oh,
congrats.
His milestone. I'll take the credit.
He talking? How that work with babies? Two, they talking?
Yeah, I feel like it's up in the air, but yeah, he'll definitely give you a good sentence now.
Daddy.
Like the three or four word sentence is like his max, but he'll give you that.
Give me food, give me pizza, give me water.
More pizza all day or watch dinosaur.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm about to tweet that out now. We even talking babies.
We all laugh, huh?
Yes, sir. We live. What's the line podcast? Week 8 NFL. Got to get
drop
to
this
it.
play right quick. I already dropped it.
You want to give them anybody that just might be tuning in? Give them the play right now. Ron, show you play tonight.
Play on a Thursday night game. Ravens over 46.5. Just ticked up to 46.5, but I still think that's the right side.
We talked through it.
We did. Shout out Ray. Ray won't even play it. I don't know if he's playing or not, but you know what I'm saying? I damn near hijacked the pick. I liked it so much. Because I was screaming, what, bucks all morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that line got a little too expensive at 2. The word was out, and I don't even like it at 2 for real.
I didn't even know it got that far.
I don't want nothing to do with nope. Just go score some points.
Yes, sir.
How many more primetime games are gonna get on the under?
It's over. Last week they teed up considering all things considered, you know, 4 quarter points. I think it was like a 42-36. Was that the score or something like that?
It was Bengals, right? Bengals something?
Yeah, the Bengals. What was the Thursday night game last week? It was not a good.
Bengals
it was Cardinals Saints. Cardinals Saints.
It wasn't, you know, it was 42-34. Yeah, like, randomly went way over.
Yeah, I think this one has some potential to go over too.
Went over by like 40 points.
Good 40. Nah, them primetime games, though, I think they are about to start going over, though. You know, the NFL is going.
Yeah, put the call.
Bookmaker just got up to 46.5.
Chris.
Love to see that. Guy like Ron, love to see that. You know,
I love to see that. It was that. Hey, now. Sometimes I'll watch some line movement and then just be like, just see something happen on Bookmaker, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm on the right side. You know what I'm saying? It just be.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's the greatest feeling. That's why I'm still mad at that Aaron Jones, bro. I'm gotta get back. Gotta get back. All right, I think we tweeted it out. All right.
I'm posting right now.
Let's get started. And we're back. Annie Up Consulting presents What's the Line podcast, week 8. Missing a guy here, one of the core 4. Look like we might be running a 3-man weave. We'll see how that goes. But I'm your host, the meticulous Mark P. Did you play those Giants last week? Did you play them?
Yes.
But if you didn't, maybe I got another one up my sleeve this week, plus a few and a half points. My guy, Rome, People's Champ. How you feeling there, Rome? Week 8.
Man, I've been MIA the last 2 weeks, but I'm ready to go. Best bet last week's Bengals 6.5 covered. That was the only play I dropped in the chat. And then tonight here on Thursday night, I know we record on Thursday nights. Most people listen to this later. I got a play here that I'm expecting to cash as well. Let's get it going, man. Week 8.
Let's get it the fuck going. Listen, man. I'm feeling these plays. I love when I fill out the pod sheet. It just gets me up to par. It just gets me like, oh, these guys got you in this, huh? All right. Papa Keys, week 8. How you feeling, man? 3-man weave right now.
I'm feeling great. You know, always Mrs. Sound Man, but you know, we gotta push through. We pushed through.
Right. A tweet from Soundman an hour ago saying I'm ready with an emoji. I don't know if anybody has to see that. Guy. I'm ready. Sure you are, buddy. We are here. What's the Line podcast, week 8. Let's get right into it, gentlemen. There's a game in London this week, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I bring up these pod notes that I send out every week. If you know somebody that may want these notes, let me know. Give me their email. The Broncos versus the Jaguars. Jaguars favored to 2.5 now. Total of 39.5. Jaguars. Oh gosh. 18-32-2 against the spread after a loss since 2018. Broncos 21-20 against the spread. Same thing after a loss since 2018. Rome, any thoughts on this game? London Town, Jaguars, home field.
Yeah, I mean, Jags go out there every year. I just think this Broncos team is bad. No surprise there. And then there's whispers about Hackett being out if they lose this weekend. Wouldn't be surprised if they lost in London. And yeah, I mean, the only thing I got for this is a lean on the Jags. Nothing much else. Nothing to deep dive or nothing crazy on this one. I usually don't touch these morning games, just full transparency. So
yeah, same thing for me. I'm usually not just now. Well, I don't want to say I usually don't touch them. It's really just about situation. I've rarely found a situation where I want to play the London game, but I do like to get up and watch the game and 9 a.m. whatever. But yeah, it's really that I don't really have too much feel on this one, except the Jaguars. I mean, I feel like they're a little desperate for a win, but it's tough to play on them considering that their coach continues to just go for it on fourth down. It kind of cost them the games. I feel like they kind of cost them that game last week, going for it on those fourth downs. But I had the Giants plus the 3 points, 3.5. But Keith, you any thoughts on this game, London game? Jaguars laying 2.5.
I mean, similar thoughts to Rome. Nothing about this game makes you want to, run and go better on it. I have a slight lean with the Jaguars just because their familiarity with playing in these London games. And I mean, the Broncos seem to be kind of just be falling apart. It's still question marks on if Russell Wilson will play. The look ahead line was 3. I don't really know why I got down to 2.5. What happened, in the world that will make it come down, in the Broncos' favor. But I like it with the Jags with the 2. I mean, not like poor diction, but it's a lean with me with the Jags with the 2. Not a game that I'm excited about. Early morning, may not even be up for it. TBD.
All right, Papa Keys may not be up for this one. All right, I know I had 2 NFC. I guess we just kind of little leans on that one, no real feels, but did want to touch on that London game. 2 NFC East teams laying over a touchdown. Got the Cowboys laying 9 at home. Cowboys against the Bears, total of 42.5. And we got the Eagles laying 10 and the hook versus the Steelers in Philadelphia. Eagles 5-0, 5-0-1 against the spread home fave under head coach Nick Sirianni. Cowboys 35-25-1 against the spread after a win since 2016. Which team would you guys rather lay it with here? Rome, I'm gonna start with you. Would you rather lay it with the Cowboys -9 or the Eagles minus the 10 and the hook? Can't hear you, Rome. You on mute.
Yeah, I'd rather lay it with the Cowboys here. But let's just be very clear. I'm not laying it. I'm not touching either of these games. But just to answer your question, who would I rather lay it with? The Cowboys. Eagles are, what are they, 6-1 now? ATS. They're pretty good ATS, and even if they're not 6-1, they're very, very close to that. But I think they're just ready for or due for some type of regression. I mean, this is just an Eagles team that obviously is ranked number 1 in pro football, power ratings, blah, blah, blah. Everybody loves them. They obviously just got better with grabbing Tony this week. But I think there's room for regression for this Eagles team. They're still young. They're not accustomed to winning, I wouldn't say yet. And so, a team like the Steelers, letdown spot at home. Steelers obviously started the rookie Kenny Pickett. There is some type of variance as to unexpected plays and obviously some things that might swing the way of the Steelers on the road. I just think Mike Tomlin's going to have these guys ready to go, and we understand that. And my running back, my boy Najee Harris, Bama boy, he isn't producing very well this year for the Steelers. So we understand they have some issues and difficulties on the offensive side. But I mean, this is an Eagles team that I need to see something in terms of winning the games they're supposed to win, and they didn't cover that against the Lions in Week 1. They didn't cover against the Cardinals in Week 5. So this is an Eagles team here that has gone 0-2 against teams that I would say they should have covered against. The only team that I believe that they should have covered against that they did was the Commanders and the Jaguars. But I'm just looking at this Eagles team and I'm thinking there's going to be some type of regression sometime soon. 6-0. We don't expect them to go undefeated. But just laying out 11 this week, I think it's a little steep.
Yeah, for me, quickly, I would rather lay it with the Eagles. I think the spot is really good for them, considering the Steelers. I mean, they have to battle it out every single week. Comes down, feel like, to the last possession. They're really just nickel and diming. They're just trying the hardest. I respect it. Obviously, we know Tomlin, pretty good coach, and we know that him against the spread as a road dog. It's been pretty profitable. He's 33, 24, and 2 against the spread as a road dog. Steelers are under Tomlin, but in past years, he hasn't really been in that spot a lot. This year, he's in that spot a ton. I just think the Eagles, with the bye week, more emphasis on how to get the ball to A.J. Brown, which I feel like he hasn't had that great of success the last couple of weeks that they've been playing. So I feel like they got up their sleeve. But yeah, 5-0, 5-0-1 against the spread as a home fave since 21. But really, I think this is more maybe for me about the Bears. This is the same. As we get better, right? We're betting, more so like the numbers than the teams. This is the exact same number that they were catching in New England against the greatest head coach of all time on Monday, and it's the same number now against a defense and the Cowboys. And I understand the Cowboys are good, but they haven't looked that great. I felt like last week they did cover the spread. That was about a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. So I just think that 9 points, 9.5 to 8.5. I don't know. It's been covering a lot. I tried to look it up a little bit, through this right before we started, but I don't think that number's been covering at home. I remember the Bucks laid it a few weeks ago, that 9. So this might be one of those other numbers we're looking out for, right? We know that 5 on the road, so the 9 at home, but I can't lay it with the Cowboys. I'd rather lay it with the Eagles minus the 10.5. Have not lost as a home fave under head coach Nick Sirianni. Keys, talk to me.
Yeah, so to answer, the basic question, I agree with Rome. I'd rather lay with the Cowboys in this situation. I'm actually not as bearish on both of these picks. I have a lean on the Eagles as well. Like I wouldn't mind, playing either of these, but I like the Cowboys a little more in this situation. You touched on the fact that the Bears just played on Monday night. That goes a little bit into it. They're coming off a shorter week. These Cowboys, the 9 seems steep, but when you look at the games that they won, their last 3 wins, they've actually covered this 9 number. They're a team that they play good defense. What the Bears are doing lately on offense, while it looks good, it actually doesn't play into like a good game script of what you want to do against the Cowboys in terms of like control the clock, try to take advantage of the fact that they're a little soft against the run. Obviously, the Bears are going to come out here and try to run the ball, but if you think you're going to come out here and see this new and improved Bears off, that's actually moving the ball, I don't think that's going to happen against this Cowboys defense that's been pretty stout all year. So with Dak back, he picked this spot for a reason. Last week he came back. He has a couple soft games before he has to see Aaron Rodgers, before he has the things. Yeah, right. But looking at the schedule, like I think it's a good spot for the Cowboys to. They've been looking pretty good all year, but look back to form, to people talking about them as Super Bowl contenders as they were coming into the season, especially early on. So I'm gonna go with the Cowboys in this situation, but I don't hate landing with the Eagles, especially since a lot of the reasons why I would want to avoid the Eagles in terms of like these tropes about the Steelers. Like I literally just saw them get blown out by the Bills, who are literally it's them and the Eagles looking like the best teams in the league. So we know it can happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did again.
All right. Yeah, I gotta I definitely felt I like the crossfire there. So I have a though on the Bears plus the 9 points. It was 9.5, but right now it's Thursday and it's at 9, so I won't be a schmuck. All right, so next game on the board. The Falcons land 4 points against the Carolina Panthers at home. What's this total now, Keith? What you see in front of you?
I actually got the total right here. It's 41.
All right, 40 total of 41. Keith, let's start off from any play on this game. Any thoughts about it?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I love the Panthers here, baby. I'm looking for plays. I feel like there's gonna be a regression into the mean. Everybody knows how good the Falcons have been doing ATS this year. I think we're 6-1 now. I feel like they moved to 6-2. It's a lot of steam going on them, but I'm riding with PJ Walker. Was out there actually making some okay throws, from what I saw, like the little bit that I see. I didn't get to watch every game, but I saw PJ out there actually like looking like a quarterback upgrade for like a Falcons team that has so desperately needed some type of life or something. But I actually love the Falcons. I mean, the Panthers here on the road. Give me the +4, and I'm riding.
Yeah, I agree with you. I lean with the +4, the Panthers, with the Panthers. It's tough though. I mean, this look ahead was a little high. I mean, the look ahead was 7. It's down to 4. It was at 4.5 either yesterday or this morning. So I mean, the number is moving. But I think the Panthers, they're a pretty good defense. PJ Walker is definitely
let's be specific. Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good defense. Yeah, but I mean, what do you want?
What's pretty good? What is pretty good?
Tier, you want to do? Let's do the tier, right? Their tier
2.
bottom, but yeah, bottom tier 2. I give them bottom tier 2. Yeah, so I think they're tier 2 defense. But I think that they do struggle. They have struggled against the run. As I do these pod notes every week, kind of just update them week to week, and they've improved immensely right now. They're 21st in opponents' rushing yards per game. But they played the Bucks last week, who can't run the ball at all. They're 32nd. So before then, they were giving up over 130 rushing yards per game. We know that that's what the Falcons like to do. So that scares me, and especially this line moving as much as it is. So
let's just be real here. What does this line close? Because it doesn't close 4.
You think it's gonna be under that? Like
3.5.
3.5. If you could
3.5. And then what does that mean to you? Or to anyone?
At home?
At home.
Yeah, I don't like the 3.5 at home. I like the 3.5 on the road.
As in, you don't like laying the 3.5 at home?
Yeah, I'd rather lay the 3.5 on the road.
Interesting. I'm the opposite. Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
I just lean the Panthers.
I'm sorry. What's that?
I just lean with the Panthers. But I did their running game. I did want to note that the running situation.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean with the Falcons here. And it's the more that we kind of just sit on this game, the more it makes sense to me. So the Panthers beat the Bucks last week at home, right? Dogs are 13, right?
Yep.
And then this week they go on the road in division against a team that only has one more win than them, and they just beat the Bucks, but they're still catching 4. To me, that just, I don't know. It seems like, here, take these points with the Panthers. I mean, obviously, line open at 7, down to 4 now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big movement.
Yeah, it's big movement. But big movement isn't necessarily great movement, right? And let's say you want the Panthers. I mean, why do you want them at 4 when you could have had them at 7? And this line isn't – how about this? If you like the Falcons, right now you're loving this line movement. So personally, this line movement isn't really – I don't think the Sharps have come in on this game yet. I think the Sharps are coming on Atlanta late, and they're going to let this line tick, 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 tick on down. Right now, 52% of cash is on Carolina. And I think, obviously from what – that's just recency bias of what we just saw them do last week against the Bucks. Boom, turn around, they're catching 7. We'll take those free points with them again. But I don't think they cover. I think it's the Falcons here. Falcons are just in a much better place. And we understand that they're a different offense without Cordell Patterson, but we talk about like defensive.
That's the problem, though. I feel like they're the same exact offense. Like that, we literally saw them down 21 last week and failed to abandon the run. Like this Falcons team is like, I don't know. I actually like the Panthers money line. Like I'll ride like that hard. Like just when I'm looking at from both of these teams, like one team of players that's actually trusting their quarterback to throw the ball. Like whether or not you think he can or cannot, he's out there doing. And another team that just won't even. Like you're down 21 points and you will not. At a certain point, defense are going to get savvy. You said this is not a bad Panthers defense. I don't know. I like the Panthers, but I'm interested. I'm sorry I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, so I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel, is it a like with the other side, Ron?
Lean Falcons.
Okay, lean Falcons. I lean Panthers.
And I lean Falcons if it gets down to 3.5. I don't like them at 4. I don't lean at 4. I think where it closes, if this line keeps moving where it's going, it's going to get down to 3.5. And I don't think books give hooks for free.
All right. I like that. All right. Speaking of 3.5, let's get to my best bet, baby.
Mm-hmm.
My bestie and a testy, Dan Campbell and those Detroit Lions. I'm going to ride.
This is the 3.5 I want to catch.
Yeah. We're on 8 Mile Road tonight, baby. We're on 8 Mile Road. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions plus the 3.5 against these Miami Dolphins. I mean, it comes down to a lot, right? One thing that I love is the triple whammy. So when I'm doing these pod notes, everybody has maybe their 6 games under 500 against the spread here, 3 games above the 5, against the spread 500 here. The triple whammy is when you got like all 3. So the Cardinals fit this. We'll get into the Cardinals soon, but the Lions also fit this. So Lions 7-2 against the spread as a home dog under head coach Dan Campbell. 14-9 overall, 9-8 against the spread after a loss. They've had consecutive losses. One that came late last week against against the Cowboys. 5 turnovers, but it looked like they were going to cover that spread at 7.5, which a lot of people were sharp on, or a lot of the sharps were on. I left that one alone. But I like this Lions team considering that the fact that they can move the ball. 7th in rushing, 9th in passing yards per game. Don't love Jared Goff, but I do love the fact that they can move the ball between the 20s. Dan Campbell, he's made some risky decisions. So, like, if you look at maybe how they have performed as far as scoring the ball, especially the last few weeks, he's gave up some points going for it on 4th downs, especially in that New England game was awful. Just went for it endless on 4th down. Did not get any of them. I think you learn from those lessons, especially if I think you're a good head coach, which I think he is, covering all these spreads. So I'm going to back catching the 3.5 in the Detroit Lions Stadium, which I've noted in the chat and out loud this year. It's been really loud in that place when I watch those games. So I think they do have a home field advantage there, plus the 3.5. And you're still fighting in that division. And we'll get to the Vikings next, but I'm going to catch the 3.5 here. And then it's also a fade on Tua. It didn't look great last week. A few interceptions dropped. I laid the 7 and felt like a foolish man. So I'm going to catch the 3.5 here with the Lions. Best bet by me, Bestie and a Testy. Ron, what do you think?
Double best bet.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
double best bet. We didn't talk about this before. Talk to him, Ron.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the Lions here. Last week, embarrassed on the road in Dallas. Week prior, embarrassed on the road in New England. Week prior, embarrassed on the road against the Vikings. That game was not as close to the scoreboard. Lions are due for it. They're due for it. And we talk about a guy in Dan Campbell who doesn't cut. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions win this game straight up. And I to be honest, if I'm catching 3.5 points, I almost expect it because I like these Lions so much in this spot because of what's happened the past 2 weeks. 6 points scored offense. Let's just say 6 points scored total. Last 2 weeks, 6 points scored. And here you are catching 3.5 at home against a Dolphins team that they haven't been explosive offensively since Tua has come back. 16 points last week, 16 points the week prior, 17 points the week prior, 15 points. Michael McDaniels needs to get it going on, or whatever my guy down there is, because they're not scoring points. They haven't scored over 17 points in the past 4 weeks. This is the time. And then we always talk about Jared Goff on the road, outside in the elements. He played poor in New England. We could have saw that coming. Cowboys pass rush didn't stand a chance last week. This week, this is the spot. At home in the Dome against a team that doesn't have a great pass rush. He'll be fine. I like the Lions here. Best bet week 8, Lions 3.5.
Double best bet. All right, Keys, talk to me. How you feel about this game?
Oh my God, I hate it. I hate that we're here. Because honestly, this is the time where I wish Soundman was here. Because I see it
right?
It's big bold and green for Soundman, and I would be like, yes, let's ride as the guys. Let's ride Soundman on this one. But honestly, it's just a very slight lean with the Dolphins here, and it was close to being one of the red games for me, like to kind of stay away because I want to. Well, I don't like the Lions in any sense because of a lot of what Rome talked about. They literally scored 6 points in the last 2 weeks.
Well, I love them.
Like literally after starting so hot, the offense seems to have fallen off without their studs. But luckily, they get their studs back this week in terms of their playmakers. So, and the Dolphins are sort of in a similar situation. Tua coming back from what looked like a pretty scary hit. He was out. And first game back, he did have like 3 or 4 drop interceptions, like you said. But just to play devil's advocate here, the way I can see this game going south for the Lions is how basically most of their games have gone south. They give up a historic amount of rushing yards on the ground. I think they're like second to last in the league in that metric. And the Dolphins coming into the season, I feel like they were a team that while they did make like obviously a pretty bold investment on the outside with Tyreek Hill, they seemed like a team that wanted to run the ball. And the coach loves Mostert. I feel like they kind of stick true to that. In terms of intent, they might not have the pieces to do it, but anybody can run the ball against the Lions. That's what we've seen. So if they're gonna let Tua get into that groove, like where the running game is actually working, Mostert's getting into his groove, I can see it going south for the Lions for sure. Even though they're at home, but it's a slight lean. The 3.5 on the road is like really, really ugly. Like I wanted to make it red, but I got some better candidates coming out.
Yep, and it is something that's got to give. I mean, the Dolphins are 29th in rushing yards per game, averaging just over 85 yards. Lions giving up over 160 yards on the ground per game. That is 31st. So, yeah, we got to see it. But, yeah, double best bet from Roman Lions +3 and the hook. Yeah, make sure you get that hook. So let's bet that. Let's get that in. All right. Next game, here's a triple whammy as well. Cardinals at the Vikings. Vikings laying 3.5 off the bye week, total of 49. Vikings 1-3 against the spread after a bye since 2018. 12-23-1 against the spread after a win during that same span. Cardinals 15-4-2 against the spread, road dog. Under head coach Cliff Kingsbury, 22-14 against the spread, non-division games. 14-11-1. After a win. Keys, let me know how you feel about this game. Vikings laying 3.5 at home, total of 49.
Another short and sweet one for me. I'm riding with some key trends that you already pointed out. The Vikings after a bye, terrible, been pretty terrible the last couple of years. And the Cardinals on the road, road dog Cardinals, they just seem to find a way. One interesting thing though that I'll point out though is these two teams in terms of trends. The Vikings are very much so a first half team, and the Cardinals are very much so a second half team. So if you, I guess, agree with me and PEO probably, then maybe it's a game that you like, I don't know, there's nothing that I do personally, but, bet it live. If you can get some value there, well, you're hoping that the Cardinals are going to come back in this game. If you like them that much, then you could find some value there. But I agree. I like the Cardinals 3.5.
Yeah, Cardinals have been outscored tremendously in the first quarter of this season. Did want to know that. Ron, what do you think about this game?
I don't have anything for this game.
Yeah, I don't have too much either, but I do lean the Cardinals plus the 3 and a hook. But look ahead was 5.5. Now down to 3.5 at home. Vikings do have a pretty good home field. But yeah, the plus 3.5. I lean with the Cardinals because of the triple whammy, but yeah, I don't really want to bet this game.
Vikings winning the NFC North, just as I called it.
All right. A couple teams laying 2.5 on the road. Patriots laying 2.5 at the New York Jets. Rome's New York Jets, total of 40.5. Titans are laying 2.5 at the Texans, total of 40.5. Which team are you landing with, Keith? Patriots or the Titans?
It's definitely the Patriots for me. Talk about riding with trends. Bill Belichick is like it don't matter what he do when he get up and play them Jets. He gonna bring it. And then I don't even know if it's a Bill Belichick versus a rookie quarterback. I don't even know if you could count Zach Wilson as not being a rookie anymore with the amount of games that he started, but it's definitely the Patriots for me. The Titans Texans is talk about a system play. This is a system don't play. AFC South Division. It's like you already know how I feel about that one. So this is an easy one. I'm glad you came to me first. Patriots all day. It's actually one of my likes. Foreshadowing one of my best bets of the week.
Yeah, same before I get to you, Rome. Same for me. I mean, I gotta lay with the Patriots here rather than Titans. Titans are not good in this spot, laying points on the road. As they are, what are they? 7-8 against the spread is a road fave. I would rather just lay it with the Patriots coming off that loss, embarrassing Monday night. And the Jets cannot pass the ball. I mean, they went from number 1 in passing yards per game with Flacco. They're now 23rd. They're now 23rd. Just week by week.
Zach Wilson isn't good.
So yeah. So I mean, Rome, you would rather lay with the Patriots as well?
Whoa,
yep.
Wait.
Yep. I've come to the conclusion I've seen enough of Zach Wilson to.
Oh no, Keys, not here.
Oh
Yeah,
my
man,
God.
just can't have it. He just doesn't have it. So you can clip that, snip that. I was wrong on that one.
All right, we got it there. All right. Yeah, we were rather lay with the Patriots minus the 2.5. Belly loves to beat the Jets as well. All right, the Raiders laying 1 at the Saints. This number's come down a little bit. It was up to 2, I believe. Total of 50. Keys, your squad. What do you think?
Oh my God.
Hey.
Our squad.
Oh,
Our squad.
my bad. I can't keep up. Roll time, baby.
This is another one that I've been going back and forth with. Obviously, as a Raiders fan, like historically, this is not a game that we win just in general. Just like we're on the road. Like that's all you have to say.
Yep, this is a Saints game for sure.
This is a Saints game for sure. I wrote Raiders down on the paper just for morale, but it was Saints at one point. I can't lie. I honestly see why it's coming down to -1. I wouldn't be surprised if it was just to pick them by the time Sunday rolls around, because it's like, seriously, like when you bet on a team on the road, you want them to have a pretty solid defense to travel. That's not what we do, not our MO at all. The offense has been looking pretty solid, obviously with Josh Jacob at the helms, but there's randomly like a little flu bug going around. Devontae, at the time of recording, still has not practiced. So while like the Saints being missing players is a bigger headline right now because it's kind of been going on longer. Both teams are a little.
Who are they missing?
They're missing Michael Thomas. They're missing their quarterback. A couple other guys as well, but the quarterback most important, maybe, if you, I guess, thinking about it. But I mean, my point is, like, this could be a game where we don't really know like what's going on with this bug that's impacted like a handful of Raiders players. So it's a slight officially a slight lean with the Raiders for me. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about this game, but I did want to know.
I like the Saints.
Yeah, Raiders 5-11 against the spread. As you know, road faves since 2014, Derek Carr draft year. But Rome, talk to me.
Yeah, I like the Saints. This is another one of my best bets this week. I think Dennis Allen is not a good football coach. Let's just start there. But I think Josh McDaniels thinks he's
former Raider coach Dennis Allen. Right?
Yeah, he thinks he's better than he is. And we talk about a Saints team that has struggled in a lot of spots this year and haven't shown up to be the team that we expected them to be, kind of giving the Bucs a run for their money in division. But I do think there is some continuity between that offense and Andy Dalton this week. I know what we saw last Thursday, short week, short prep. Andy Dalton didn't look good. But in the spot right here, at home, in the Dome, no travel, this is a get-right spot for the Saints. And then obviously that game wasn't as close last week as the score showed it to be. They got blown out, and they were up, and they had that game, right? They had that game 14-6, 2 pick sixes, didn't see the lead again for the rest of that game. So I think last week's game plan was all right. They just fell apart, and they had to abandon it. So this week, I think is we're going to see what we were supposed to see from the Saints last week, and I think it helps that they're at home. We don't need the point. Saints money line.
This is a situation though, like before we move on, I do remember that Dalton got banged up last week too. So I mean, I think he's going to play, but we could see already immobile Andy Dalton a little limited, which could tie into how the game progresses. But
Taysom, anytime TD.
I don't remember who the other guy they had.
All right, a few games left here on the board. A couple teams laying 3 at home. Colts are laying 3 against the Commies. 39.5 is the total. Commies 9-6 against the spread after a win under head coach Ron Rivera. I'm just saying, get the streak going. Colts 17-10-1 against the spread after a loss. Seahawks laying 3 at home, 27-19-3 against the spread, non-division games. But we know those Giants, road dogs, are their thing. 15-9 since Daniel Jones. Keys, who would you rather or who would you rather catch the 3 points here with on the road, Giants or the Commies?
Oh, you asked me in the worst way. But if you ask it like that, I would rather catch it with the Commies. But I would like to go on and say that Colts Commies game is my second stay away. And I say that because I love the Seahawks this week and hate the Giants this week. It mainly has to do with the fact that the Giants have been doing so much traveling over the last couple of weeks. They played in London. They had to go to New York. Just had a game in Florida, and now they're about to go to Seattle. Right. So it's a fade on the Giants doing all that traveling against two teams that I honestly think are even. No, I don't even know what the records are, but whatever the records are, I feel like I have the Giants and the Seahawks about even, just in terms of what I've been seeing. The Giants very banged up in terms of like they already didn't have much weapons. They traded one away that they weren't using. The tight end got hurt. The young tight end that was looking all right got hurt. I'm pretty sure Evan Neal got hurt too, which could affect their running game a lot that they lean so heavily on. So I love the Seahawks here. But to answer your question, I guess it's the Commies.
Yeah, for me, I mean, a new quarterback with the Colts, I can't catch points with the Commies. I already don't trust them, and then a new quarterback. So I would take the Giants in this case, who I'd rather catch the 3 points with. I mean, we know.
Hey, what's the total on this Commies game? Because it just started clicking when you said
39 and a half.
39 and a half. So totals of 39 and a half and below in the past 22 games have gone 13-9 to the under when that total is 39 and a half or lower. So
yeah, I can see that being a really ugly game, like honestly, like,
like
something like what we've been witnessing in like some of the early Bears games this season. Because I mean, the Colts have they decided they're done with Matt Ryan, but I'm pretty sure they have like another veteran quarterback on the roster outside of
NFL Super Bowl champions.
Right, they have Foles on the roster, but decided to go with Eckler. The little bit I know about him is that like he's like a mobile quarterback. They couldn't protect Ryan. Like they try to throw the young guy out there running. Like this is gonna be a nasty game. I'm predicting. Like
definitely. Yeah. I mean, I think the Commies are gonna be able to get to the quarterback of the Colts. I mean, the Colts O-line has not been it all season. So I mean, Ellinger is gonna have to run around a little bit. So that definitely sways to the under as well. So maybe I'll say I like the over, so the under can actually hit. Yeah, with me, I think I'd rather catch the points with the Giants. 15-9 to the spread. As road dogs since Daniel Jones has been drafted. And then I do understand the travel though, so that makes me a little wary. But I did put this in the Discord last week. Over the last 20 years, NFL teams that have an 80% win rate and cover rate are now 13-6-1 against the spread as underdogs.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yes. So the last 20 years, NFL teams that are 80% win and cover rate that are catching points are 13-6-1 against the spread.
That's a good
80% win and cover rate.
Yeah,
this would have to be like early season
for sure, right? I mean, that's the only way you can really catch points. I mean,
that's the only way you can get 80%.
Early season or like at least like four or 5 games.
Yeah, right. They're 5. What are they? They're 5-1, right? They're 6-1. You know what I mean? So they have an 80% winning rate, and they've covered all games but one as well. So,
but just in terms of psychological, that kind of makes sense because, like, in terms of like how when Rome talks about like looking at the line, like you have a team that's been obviously performing this year. They're 80% winning and against the spread, and then they're catching points, and it's just like why? You know what I mean? Why do you think that
why?
Vegas thinks that people, Vegas thinks that the public thinks doesn't believe in them. Like, why are they doing? They don't believe they've been performing
like the Giants last week.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right. But I mean, I thought that was a strong number. 13-6-1 against the spread the last 20 years. It's basically those teams that I don't believe in that. Like they can't go 3-1. The sound man thing, they can't go 4-1. They can't go 5-1. They can't. And they just I mean, catching 3 points. I think there is some value there.
Wrong thing too.
A lot of fucking travel. I don't think so, Romy, because you'll fade a trend. What I'm saying with the Soundman thing is like, the Jets can't be 4-1. It's just like any every year everybody gets paid. All right. So last couple games, Packer or 49ers -1 at the Rams. Any thoughts, Rome, on this one? -1 49ers.
No, I'm tired of betting this game.
Yeah, this one.
We've seen these teams play 4 times. This will be the 4th time in the fifth time in the past, 9 months or so. I'm sick of betting and trying to figure out the side on this. I'm good.
Yeah, I took the 49ers last time. I lean Rams on this one because they're coming off the bye, and you kind of all the times that they beat them is kind of into the line already. So I just lean Rams off the bye. Keith, what do you think?
I agree. Who owns who, right? Who owns who?
49ers own Rams regular season.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna ride the train here, and I love the 49ers. I mean, like, even we've been saying all year, like, oh, they like them except for in the playoffs. I mean, they covered in the playoffs too. It's like, come on, like, at some point, it's just like, bro, like, when it doesn't hit, you're okay. Okay.
They did cover in the playoffs. They covered 3.5. You're right. Those are my type of guys. All right. Last game on the board. Bills are laying 11 against the Packers. Total of 47.5. I lean Packers, but I don't love what I see out of them. They're a lot of ego driven, but I just lean Packers with a large number. Largest of Aaron Rodgers' career. Keith, what do you think?
Wait. Oh my God. I don't know why I thought this was a Monday night game. It's a very slight lean with the Bills here for me. Just in the fact that, like, Aaron Rodgers has kind of been talking this up a little bit, but, like, I feel like he's been talking up a lot of stuff, and, like, we just seen that this Packers team is not good. This is
they need to go and sit down.
What'd you say?
They need to go and sit down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, bro, you don't have the facilities for that, big man. Like, it's just plain.
So you're not winning another championship ever again. Just hang it up. I mean, hang it up or take your ass out to San Francisco.
And this Bills team, I mean, they shown it that, like, they love these bigs, but they love to try to, like, beat teams by the, like, this margin that Vegas dares you to try to bet against. They burned me like that with the Steelers. I feel like they might do this again with the Packers. Interesting, like, how these two teams are going to, like, match up, though. Like, this Packers defense that, like, basically dares you to run the ball, and the Bills who are just like, bro, I'm not running the ball. So, I mean, like, I could see it being a game, at least early, where, like, maybe the Bills offense starts a little slow because they're not used to that. You know what I mean? Usually people kind of play them offense, maybe a little honest, thinking like, oh, as long as we key on Diggs, maybe we could do something, but the Packers, they just don't do that anyway. But I could definitely see it get ugly for the Packers. So it's a lean with the Bills for me.
All right, Ron, what do you think about this one? Closes out here.
I'm not touching this game. Packers are bad. Bills are good.
Yeah. All right. We close this out. Tease me picks. I know, Rome, you got another for us. With Keith, I'll start with me, Keith. I'm gonna take the Texans. Give me the Texans plus 8.5. Titans.
I'll tease the Saints up to 8 or the 7.5.
7?
Yeah. Well, or 6-point teachers. You're right.
Yep.
Why do I always do
that? All right, I'll take the Texans plus 8.5, and then give me the Eagles minus 4.5. I heard a really good stat on undefeated teams off a bye earlier, but I can't lay 10.5. So yeah, I'll take the Eagles minus 4.5, Texans plus 8.5. Keith, what do you got?
I'm gonna do the Cowboys down to -3, the flat 3, but it is 9, so it's a team. And then the Cardinals, I'm gonna tease them up to plus 9.5. I like that.
All right, Cardinals plus 9.5. All right, Rome, you got another teaser play?
No, I'm ready to go. Best bets. Come on with it. Let's go.
All right, best bets. Talk to me, Rome.
Hey, best bet. I'm not going to steal yours, but I'll take mine. Patriots minus 2.5. Get right week against a Jets team that's surging. We'll see what that Jets offense looks like without Breece Hall and Zach Wilson. Let's see if you can throw for more than 80 yards in a game.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
First to say.
Yeah.
All right, Lion. I like that Patriots play. Lions double best bet, plus the 3.5 as well. And then yeah, that'll be it for me. I'm gonna stick with the one leg. All right, Keith, best bet.
Also ran with the Pats best bet as well. And then I'm gonna go with the 49ers, man. Like, it's like I mean, like, are the Rams still good? We TBD. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers.
All right, and Soundman Special. I was like, well, I could forget Soundman Special. The Washington Commies.
Damn it!
I don't hate it.
And the LA Rams.
Okay.
Right,
at this point, he's cheating.
Right. He's taking 2 this week. He skipped a couple weeks though, so we'll take 2.
I will say though, like think about when we first started with those Soundman specials. He was just like picking a dog. Those dogs, like you look at the lines and the dogs that he's picking now, they all kind of align. Like this team could, when you see teams laying a flat 7 and you're just like, this is a dog. Dog's gonna catch the 7. Houston Texans, that type of situation. When he calls those things, those teams have been winning recently. So he's getting sharper with these Soundman specials. Remember last year he was on a pretty good roll with him. So
no doubt. He was killing it at one point last season. So kudos to you, Soundman. We'll get you back, get back in next week, week 9. All right, that's it. Week 8, What's the Line podcast. Best bets, all that. See y'all next week.